Week 12, day 6. We are at the end of the book of Joshua, chapters 23 and 24, and then we'll move into the next book of Judges. But what we see is that Joshua, after having been second in command to Moses, and then having been in charge of the people in their efforts to take possession of the promised land, has now come to the end of his life. Everything that he set about to do has been done. The people are in their new places. They're no longer wandering in the wilderness, and they are keeping God central in their lives. And Joshua, knowing that he's coming to the end of his life, much like his predecessor, addresses the people one last time. He offers to them once more a recounting of their history as a people, as a history of the events that they have experienced under the leadership of God. And he also calls for them to renew the covenant that God had made with them. The covenant that God made with Abraham so long ago, two sections of that we now have seen fulfilled. The progeny has exploded beyond counting the sand on the seashore, and now they've taken possession of the promised land. And God has fulfilled God's part, and now it is a reminder that the people need to fulfill their part as well. And so we see two phrases. You've probably seen them in people's homes. Joshua says, you know what? You can worship anybody you want, and you're going to have to live with the consequences of that. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It's a promise of what his intention is going to be. But he also follows that up with a reminder and perhaps even a warning. If you forsake the Lord, there will be consequences to pay. I think that's important. We think a lot about how much God loves us and the love of God and how God is always faithful. But God's faithfulness, while that is constant and continuous, is often like a gift. It's offered to us, and we have to either accept it or not. And it's just as easy to give it back. But God calls us to be faithful in our belief and trust that God will be faithful to us. How are we doing on that today? Are we remembering to be faithful to God because we know that God is faithful to us?